Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Power Events live broadcast here from Ministry Venues in London. Thank you very much for joining us, and it's really the culmination, the climax of an 8-week-long tour launching the Event Industry Insight app that the industry has asked the Power Events mission to put together. Thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate you joining us, and I hope you find this insightful. So what we're going to do today, give you a bit of a reminder and an overview of what the Power Events is, take you through the platform in case you haven't seen it before, and just a bit of an update of what we've been doing. And then we'll sort of go through the app as well, talk you through that. Your number one mission today is to download the app. If you love our industry, you want it to be better understood, better respected, better valued, please download the app. It will really help associations, universities in collaboration with our industry to get better understanding of just what this industry is, the numbers related to it. And then there'll be a few next steps that we're going into to 2024 as a team. And there's a Q&A section, which is on your LinkedIn page. On the right-hand side, there's a comment button. If you want to ask any questions, we can go through at the end. Please submit them on that Q&A comment button section, and we'll review them at the end. So in about 25 minutes, half an hour. So without further ado, what is the power of events? Well, it all came from COVID, when effectively there were lots of brilliant campaigns, hashtag campaigns from all the different sectors, pleading with the government for support, trying to showcase ourselves to national media, coming from a really difficult place, and some brilliant organisations, industry leaders and associations, and a lot of the events industry collaborated together in the individual sectors on these campaigns. But these campaigns weren't necessarily talking to each other. So stupidly, on lockdown, after a bottle of wine or two, I took it upon myself to maybe contact these associations and campaigns and get them on some Zoom calls just to learn from each other and help collaborate and collate their aligned data or their aligned asks and so on, which was great. And it's got that sense of collaboration that the one positive, perhaps, insight and one positive legacy from COVID was a more openness and a collaborative vibe within our industry. But a lot of people came back to me and said, Rick, that's all great, but no one knows what the events industry is. It's not defined anywhere. The industry hasn't defined itself for decades. So they asked me, and then I responded putting together a little presentation, which I presented now to hundreds and hundreds of organisations across the 4 nations, and said, look, would you support with a few quid and put your name against if I set up a platform on your behalf that defined the 7 sectors, defined the communities that wrap around the events industry, and ultimately ask the question, what is the events industry? So that basically it could be better understood, valued and respected. Thankfully, 99% plus of all those that I've spoken to over the last 18 months said, yes, no brainer, of course we'd support that, why wouldn't we? So ultimately, in February this year, we launched the platform. And I'm happy to say that it's been brilliantly well received by the industry, and we've been given a huge amount of support and informal ambassadorship by more and more people visiting it and signing up as supporters and partners. So what do we do? Well, we define the 7 sectors, which I'll talk you through in a second, which the industry have agreed through lots of conversations over many months with industry leaders and freelance groups and associations from all the 7 sectors that we defined, that they were as happy as they could be with the definition of those sectors, which then gave us a map of which to explore the communities that wrap around that. Also on there, on the platform, is designed to sort of show the value and the breadth of opportunity, whether you're in the industry, you want to develop your career, your networks, your community, your business, whether you want to come from another sector and join the industry and what are the opportunities and what is the industry that I could engage with, whether you're at school or university event student and you want to understand how to get into the industry, what the scope and the huge breadth of career opportunities they are. And that's all great with the content, but also you need some numbers, you need the data to back it up. Several sectors are quite good actually at putting the data together for the sort of value and the numbers of employees within their individual sectors, but we don't have those big numbers. How big is the events industry? There's no credible industry-backed, academically backed big numbers, because we haven't before had a breadth of community that cover the 4 nations, cover the 7 sectors that have bought into that. So hopefully we have something now to build on there as a starting stone. So the 7 sectors that were agreed upon, as I say, by the industry, not by me or by my team, are these: bespoke sport events, business and brand experiences, exhibitions and congress, music and live performances, outdoor events and festivals, public and third sector events, weddings and private parties. And very quickly we became aware, if it wasn't already, a lot of people were aware, that like 95% of the whole events industry, the supply chain effectively, work across all these sectors. There's a huge community there that don't consider themselves in one sector, they consider themselves as part of the events industry. There's a real opportunity to leverage that community through learnings and insight and collaboration. So that's what we're really trying to build on across the 4 nations, which is really important to us to have that inclusivity. We've had hundreds and hundreds of businesses over the last year put their name to us, put some money in the operational fund, support us, be informal ambassadors, shouting about it through their social networks, their communities, introducing us to their supply chain, their peers, their competitors. And here's just a small list of many hundreds and hundreds of organisations that never before have collaborated on any one mission. From the biggest names in music and rights holders in festivals, to the biggest corporate and experiential agencies, the biggest venues, the biggest supply chain organisations, but also some of the smaller businesses, the SMEs as well, that are just as important and have a huge amount of insight of really what's going on in the industry. So there's just a little snapshot from production companies, crewing companies, freight haulage companies, infrastructure companies, freelance communities as well. The exhibition sector through to the wedding sector, music and live events, outdoor event festivals through to the more experiential corporate world. So we're really proud that we've got this inclusive breadth of support, and they're all showcased in the supporters page as a thank you on the platform. A few facts and figures. So on one side of the platform, you've got the 7 sectors defined with some video and content and overview, which I'll show you in a second. On the other side are the 4 main communities. And again, for the first time in the history of the events industry, all of the main media partners, the trade publications that are so important to giving us our news, the insights, the opinions, the challenges that the industry is going through, all of them, the main ones, have come on and supported and been a partner, a media partner for this platform. They're all profiled on the site in their own section. We're talking conference news, exhibition news, accessible areas, standout, event industry news, C&IT, M&IT, TPI, LSI, event space, prestige, and so on. There are about 22 of them, I think there are now. This may be a bit out of date. And that's just fantastic, and we thank them for their ongoing support. Also, the second community, the trade associations, again, put competitive advantage aside, and for the first time, all the main sort of ones across these 7 sectors have come together and supported this, and again, are all profiled on the platform. So whether it is the likes of EIF, AFO, AIF, NOAA, and so on in the outdoor and music festivals, whether it's Live, that really is the main one in the live music, whether it's the likes of Plaza or NTIA, from both the sort of sound and light through to the Nighttime Association, UK Events, and EVCOM in the business, the National Weddings Association, AEO, ESSA, EIA, AEV, so on, that look after venues in the exhibition sector and so on. They've all agreed to support this, which is unprecedented, so we're really grateful to them. But also there's 35 amazing support organisations that promote best practice in skills or diversity, DEI, sustainability, welfare. A lot of them are not-for-profits, but really need elevating to be given a profile, so they're on the site as well. So everything from a Greener Festival, Vision 2025, ILA, through to Diversity Alliance, through to EventWell or Stress Matters. You've also got the likes of Event Crowd, Event Academy, Elevate, Fast Forward 15, and some of the charities that do amazing work to support the more vulnerable in the industry, like Backup Tech and Superjam. So we're really proud of that. And there's also ones that you may not even heard of, which are so important to elevating the resilience and more inclusivity of our industry. So you've got the Black Events Professionals Association, Women in Touring, Women in Lighting, Network of Women in Events, Women in Exhibitions. They're really important, so they're all profiled on the site. And then finally, our 10 university partners. We've got at least one in all the 4 nations, from Scotland to Cardiff to Ulster in Northern Ireland, down to the South Coast, London, through the Midlands and up into the North. And they are fantastic university partners who both want to liaise with industry better on research and data with some of our associations in partnership, but also get their event faculty students to have a better relationship and understanding of the industry for when they then want to have a career post their courses and when they've graduated. So there's over 150 organisations on the platform for the first time ever collaborating together and supporting this. One of the most useful tools on the platform is the events calendar. All the main industry events now are in one place. Those association events, congresses, networking events, award ceremonies, which also often the trade publications also organise, and then the big shows, the Showman Show, Confex, EPS, the Meeting Show, Event Buyers Live, and so on. They're all in one place, and I know that a lot of the event organisers now sense check and date check for clashes going forward, which is also something that the industry, I think, wanted as well. There's also the sort of top 20 podcasts the industry's recommended that you can access, as well as online communities. Particularly the freelancers have engaged with this, certainly during COVID when they needed to engage their community and get support. Some of them are on LinkedIn and Facebook and have 20, 30,000 members. So there's a real rich pool there of insight, of communities, of networks, and a signposting to the amazing organisations that span across our 4 main communities in our industry. So what have we been doing since we launched in February? Well, we've had over 50,000 visitors to the platform from a standing start, growing social media followers every week, about 2,000 searches every week on LinkedIn, and over the last 8 months, particularly in the last 8 weeks as well, we've been to over 50 industry events and university-hosted events and presented live and met over 10,000 event professionals and future generation event professionals, which has just been fantastic. And we'll continue to do that to have proper in real life engagement going forward. So anyway, let me now show you the platform very quickly so you really understand what it's about. So basically, when you go to the homepage at thepowerevents.org, it's trying to be as helpful and as intuitive as possible. So it will ask you straight away sort of who you are and give you a bit of a pointer to maybe whichever one of these are relevant, which areas of the platform are most relevant to you. We won't do that today. I'll leave you to sort of discover that and so on. But effectively, if you go to the UK events site there on the homepage that I showed you and click on that, you'll be able to explore the 7 sectors, and they all have the same sort of format. So example, we go to music and live performances. They all have a video and some great content provided by the industry, an overview of the sector, of the type of audiences, supply chain, organisers and so on, and then sector news provided by amazing trade media partners, very much up to date with regards to the news that's related to the specific sector we're in, which is the music one. Some of the prompts of some of the other communities that obviously support this sector, some research relating to this sector, some of the events calendar entries that relate to this sector as well, and there's a prompt obviously to get involved and download the app, which is your number 1 mission today. So that's just an example of one sector. I could show you just very quickly. Perhaps we go to the business one and brand experiences. Again, a video that's provided by the industry that showcases that sector, an overview of the nuances and the uniqueness of some of the organisations and some of the types of supply chain and audiences and event types, news related to that sector, suggestions of other communities, research, event calendar entries again. So you can see how all the 7 sectors are really nicely profiled for anyone already in the industry or wants to join the industry or external stakeholders that need to learn about the industry. And then the other side, the 4 main industry community partners. So again, you've got the associations, industry media, the university partners and support organisations that I described before. So if we click on support organisations, it gives an overview of what they're about, what they do, news again relating to them as support organisations, and then there's the listings. So you can search by sector, which one they support, or you can do keyword search. So for example, if we went to Diversity Alliance, which obviously does a huge amount of promotion of better training and understanding and development of DEI across the industry, there's a bit of an overview of what they do, there's their links, there's maybe a video or some images in these profiles, and then it shows what sort of sectors they coverage, regional coverage, and their services as well. And I say, hundreds of profiles like this are clearly denoted on the industry community section. There's also the supporters page, which I mentioned. There's hundreds of amazing businesses, the biggest names, the up-and-coming boutique, supply chain businesses, and so on. There's all the main research on there, all the main news, the events calendar, the online communities that I mentioned as well, about 30 of them, and the top sort of 20 podcasts. So hopefully that gives you a really good understanding of the power of this industry platform. And again, I will reiterate, all this content has been provided for us by the industry. So it really is designed by the industry for the industry. So let me just go back to the deck. So really now, it's a case of where we go forward. We've launched at launch in February here at Outernet in London. We promised we'd launch the platform, which we've done. And we promised we'd launch an insight app to help associations, industry press particularly, and universities develop better data and insight from across those 7 sectors for the first time, across the 4 nations, with a real breadth and depth of all the different type of organisations, individuals that work in our industry. So again, reiterating, please download that and you'll see some prompts of that when we talk you through in a minute. The industry has also suggested some new projects for us to leverage this unique mission and community of support, and that is a careers hub. This is designed to showcase the 5 core routes into the industry. so that those that want to join from other sectors or from school or university or other courses, what are the routes into industry? And they're event apprenticeships, internship placements, direct recruitment, university courses and skills courses. So they'll be given an overview and then lots of links to the organisations that are pretty much on the support areas platform and in other areas of the platform will be directly linked to the Careers Hub as well. So a really nice signposting for anyone who wants to develop their career or get a career into industry. The industry has also provided us with sort of a major top 100 different roles, showing the breadth of these sort of skills and careers and job titles that maybe some of them, particularly the younger generation, next generation, don't fully understand or are aware of. So whether it's a rigger, a sound and AV technician, a producer, a projgo, a talent manager, a catering manager, health and safety officer, sustainability manager, a designer, set construction, whatever it might be, they're just in alphabetical order with a little bit of an overview of what they do and then some little key words describing the skills needed for them. A really nice way of showing that whether you're an introvert, an extrovert, whatever your interest, whether you want to be front of house or back of house, there's something for you with this events industry. And probably most importantly, the vast majority of those roles can be done across sector. You don't have to pick one individual sector, pick what you're most interested in, then you might have an even more rich and diverse and varied career. And then finally, the industry has said, great that you're engaging with the industry, great you're engaging with university event graduates and so on, but what about the 14 to 18 roles in this country? Do they really know what the events industry is? Do they really consider it as a viable career? Well, hopefully we can help solve that. And we've had an unprecedented amount of support for people who want this to happen. We want to get in front of every single one of the 4,210 secondary schools in the UK within 5 years and present the power events to them and say, there is a job for you, there is a career for you. You could experience delivering the most amazing experiences that everybody in daily life in any of those 7 sectors can experience. So we've been brilliantly supported by the EIF, one of the main associations looking after outdoor events and festivals, who gave us a grant to start a pilot scheme for the East of England region. We're going to target about 85 schools over the next couple of months, starting imminently within 3-4 weeks' time, and have regional ambassadors that have already put their hands up. And if you are in the East of England, you want to be a schools ambassador, please let us know at hello@thepowerevents.org. We've got about 15 to 20 already have put their hands up, who will be given a deck and briefed and taken to a local school near them. They can present to the students between 14 and 18-year-olds. And obviously the great thing is they have, after that, when they're talking to their parents or their school's careers advisors, they can go and reference the platform afterwards as well. So once we've learned from that pilot with regards to listening to the students' feedback, the teachers' feedback, and the ambassadors' feedback from the industry as well, we'll tweak and evolve that approach and then start rolling it out across other regions across the UK into 2024 and beyond. And obviously we'll need more support and from funding, but also from regional ambassadors as well in those different regions. We've got, I think, almost 100 that have signed up across the different regions, ready and waiting for when that schools program gets to their region. So if you want to be involved in that, do let us know. So anyway, the app. As I said before, this is really needed by the industry. They asked us for it because when sort of survey monkeys drop into your inbox in the middle of a busy day, you might just be on a database, they might not be that relevant to you, and often they're just deleted and ignored. Some are more relevant than others and some are better than others, but if we can have a more 21st century digital tool that you can take around with you, whether you're traveling on site, whatever, and there's a really simple way of just downloading the notification that comes through, answer a few simple questions from across the spectrum of 7 sectors, from across the 4 nations, depending on the sort of research project that associations, maybe in collaboration with universities, want and need to do, then the app is there as a help for them. It's a tool. They don't have to use it exclusively, but it's there as an extra tool to help these university associations and industry in collaboration get better data and richer, more of a broader spectrum of buy-in as well from the data insert, a broader reach across the 7 sectors in the UK. And hopefully with an app, it's a bit more 21st century, a bit more diverse, and you can filter with sort of the target audience that are relevant to those research projects as well, with a bit of academic credibility with the universities getting involved as well. So it's really there to help the industry that needs and have the remit for research. Because I remind you, the Power Events is not an association. We don't do any of the other associations' work. We don't lobby government. We're not a media outlet. We're there to showcase the amazing organisations that are there through content and support anyone who needs data for their own remits as well. So that's really important to remember. So it took about 5 months to put it together. I don't know if you ever tried to organise an app and get it on Apple Store and Google Play. Not easy, but with some amazing help from the Comms Group, our commissioned supplier, and also CI Group. I really want to thank them. They've been incredible with their experience in launching apps as well, which they gave us for free, generously their time to help set this up. We couldn't have done it without them. So if you can now go, register, there's the QR code, or search Event Industry Insight on Google Play or on the App Store. If you love this industry and want it to be better understood, respected and valued, download it now. That'd be amazing. It looks like that. So you search Event Industry Insight or use the QR code. It literally takes 90 seconds once you've downloaded it to register. You'll just ask a few questions about you, takes about a minute. A few questions if you do work in the industry about where you work or where you're looking to work if you want to come into the industry. And then notifications once we launch around end of December with regards to research projects being able to go live. We've got 2 or 3 already that have been suggested to us by various organisations in the industry that are looking to use this tool, from research in the freelance community to event employment resilience to a more diverse and BAME understanding of the diversity, or perhaps lack of it, I'm afraid to say, in this industry to date. You'll be sent a notification. And don't worry, it won't be once a day or once a week, probably more likely 1 or 2 a month. And often they'll literally be 4 to 5, maybe 10 questions in each, taking just a few minutes of your time, which will really help get a better understanding of this industry. Please remember that this is all GDPR compliant, privacy policy, robustness, legally up to date. You'll never, from your registration details, be publicised individually, and any of your responses will all be anonymised as well. So there's no fear of that, even from an organisation or from an individual perspective. It'll all be anonymous, so no individual data or profiles will be showcased. Also on the app is the events calendar as well, as a helpful tool for you to have in your pocket when you just want to reference which events are coming up and which ones obviously you are able to go to from the awards or the networks or the conferences and so on. So that's all in the app as well, which hopefully is a helpful added bonus. If you change your job, get promoted, or whatever it might be with regards to the sectors, you can update it in settings. And here's just an example of some of the simple question templates. These are some related to the registration. Really easy to engage with, really easy to answer. Click here, put a bit of information in there, and that's an example of some of the templates. And then the results, for some of them, the work projects, if they're only a few weeks old in timeline, you will be able to see some graphical results pop up almost immediately after you've submitted your own responses. So you can see how the rest of the industry has responded to the same questions you have in little graphical forms, which is a nice little give back, just so you can see what the rest of the industry is thinking depending on versus what you submitted with your views and your responses. So you'll see some of those notifications pop up with some of the actual work research projects that you've got involved with as well. So that's a nice little added bonus. So pretty much almost there. Hope you're still with us. How can you help and support? Well, if you're in the industry and you know that you or your business is not yet a supporter or partner, contact us. As I say, every week, every day, more and more supporters and partners coming on board, thankfully being referred to by all those other hundreds and hundreds of supporters in their networks and suggesting that this is a mission they really should follow and support. You can contribute to the operational fund, and you can be on the task force on some of our action groups that are all about delivering some real impacts and some change and boosting and benefiting the Power Events mission. Shout about it. Shout today. Did you find this interesting? Do you think it's a great idea? If there's some things we're not doing, let us know. Shout about it to your community on socials afterwards. We'd really appreciate that. And we'll do the same. Any supporters and partners that join up or have got big events coming on the calendar, they'll be put on there. But we'll also shout about on our socials and our bulletins that go out to well over 1,000 organisations now every time our bulletin reaches. Of new supporters, we'll shout about that, new partners and so on. So it's a mutual loving. And then most importantly, what else should we be doing? All of this content, all of this app, platform, careers hub, schools engagement program was suggested by the industry. Our team just make it happen. So tell us what else you want on this platform, what else you will be involved in. That's the most important thing that I think is the basis of some of our success to date, and only 8 months since launching. So we're not trying to do anything else that is already happening. We're not trying to step in anyone's toes. We're showcasing all the amazing stuff that's going on there. So what are we missing? What else are we pursuing? Let us know. We're here for you as the industry. We're trying to elevate all of you. Okay? So do let us know about that. And again, you can email us at hello@thepowerevents.org or suggest it on socials and so on. That would be fantastic. So get in touch on any level that you'd like to. We're ready and waiting. So what's our ultimate aim? Basically, win hearts and minds, change behaviour. We all love this industry. We're very passionate about it. And I've seen that. I've spoken to so many thousands of organisations of all different levels, new businesses, supply chain, the biggest businesses. And the one thing in common is they want this industry to have a better position within government or within trade media, or a better pipeline of talent coming through, really considering this industry. So a bit of change of behaviour and winning hearts and minds is ultimately what we're trying to do here. And one last thing, download the app and you'll be entered effectively into a weekly prize draw. There's some brilliant prizes that have been donated by our partners and our supporters, and about 2 prizes are put up every Monday, and then the following Monday there's a random draw from everybody that has downloaded the app and registered. And we've had some great prizes already awarded, and many more prizes will come through. So if you download it today, you'll be entered into the draw, which will be drawn on Monday. So please download the app now if you love this industry and want to be better understood. And it is free, and you could win some of these prizes as well. So I really, really appreciate your time today. Again, thank you to Ministry Venues for hosting us. Thank you to WTV Global, who have done all the streaming for us today. Thanks to my friends at Smile as well, who have provided some of the production and the cameras for us today. So it's hopefully been pretty smooth, perhaps apart from my delivery, but they've done a great job. And thank you so much for listening. And we really appreciate that you're very time poor, to take time out of your day to learn about this. I hope you found it useful, insightful, and you'll get on board and help in some sort of way. So now I'm just going to quickly look at any questions that have come through and just see if I can answer any of them. Let's have a look what we got here. What are the key areas the Power Events are going to explore in 2024 and beyond? Well, I think I've explained some with regards to the Careers Hub launching imminently. I think hopefully you've also understood the Schools Engagement Programme is a huge mission. We're starting the programme in a pilot in the east of England in the coming weeks. So once we've learned from that pilot, we'll start rolling it out to other regions. We've got quite a lot of interest from some of the university partners, some of the small and biggest organisations, and there's a huge amount of event industry professionals that have done a bit of school engagement themselves in their region. Hopefully now with the bigger content and the industry authentic content and the backing we've got, we can give an event school ambassador some better deck perhaps to go to for more schools that we've got a relationship with in their region and start rolling it out. But the answer to the question really is, I don't know what we're going to do beyond that. That's enough, I think, so far for 24. It's for the industry to suggest to us what else we should do beyond, not for us to devise. We've got our own ideas, but the industry needs to lead us. We need to follow the industry. We shouldn't be dragging the industry with us. So you tell us, what else should we be doing? What is a representative and why is this important? I'm not sure what a representative means. I presume that means the school's ambassador. On the app. So yeah, so on a representative on the app, basically if you're part of a business and you're able to be the representative of a business when you download the app, that means that you, when a research project comes through and it's asking about company information, how many employees you have, where do you work, what sort of sectors, you're nominating yourself and you're officially able to be the representative to respond to those questions on behalf of a business as well. So we know that some of the biggest organisations have downloaded this, and those representatives will respond on behalf of hundreds, if not thousands, of employees. And that's really powerful as well for us to understand the type of businesses that are responding on behalf of that. So any individual, if they're allowed to and permitted to by their business, can be the representative of that business for when company questions come through. So hopefully that answers that question. How will you entice students to become more involved with the platform? Great question. Well, over the last, even this morning, but over the last 6-8 weeks, and even earlier than that, in the first few months, we've visited all of our university partners. We presented to thousands of university students across the 4 nations live. This morning we were at a London event where Manchester Metropolitan University were doing their Event Connect, and we bombed over from the other side of London to here this afternoon at Ministry Venues. So we have presented to, in fact, and yesterday we were at Greenwich, to be fair. So over the last 5-6 months, and particularly in the last 7 or 8 weeks, we presented to thousands of students across 10 universities and explained to them the industry, explained to them the Power Events is a really rich tool, explained to them if they download the app, a lot of them are about to enter the industry if they're graduating this summer within months, that they can be part of this whole mission as well. So I think we've done a pretty good job of engaging with students, and obviously the university partners have got a long-term relationship with us, and we'll be going to see them again and again as they have more cohorts coming through their first and second years and so on. Next question. Are all the Power Event supporters using the same 9,920 SIC code critical now for HMRC and government? I don't know the answer to that, but it's a question perhaps we could ask through a research project. I know there's been trouble with the SIC and SOC codes. Not a lot of organisations, or not enough, perhaps, are using them. If you don't know what SIC and SOC codes are, they basically relate to your end-of-year reports that you submit to Companies House, and you put that code against what type of business you are, so that the ONS Office of National Statistics can grab that information and demonstrate the size of our worth. And a lot of other industries are really good at that. We've probably not quite got the buy-ins yet. So if you are leading your business and so on, then perhaps talk to your association about the best SIC and SOC codes that are appropriate to you. But that's a great question, and perhaps that'll be something that some of the associations and research projects will want to find out what proportion of business are aware of them and using them going forward. When will the research start going out in the app, and what will it look like? As I said, the app update for research going live will happen within a matter of weeks. We're just finalising that update. And then it's really a case of the industry finalising what research projects they want to use the app for. As I say, there's 3 or 4 in the pipeline at the moment. So just the first ones might go out towards the end of the year, probably into January onwards, and you'll see those notifications starting to pop up very, very soon. Do you feel the Power Events is in a strong enough position yet to be the reference point for the multiple surveys we received during COVID to allow for a joined-up response? Wow. I don't know. That's not, again, for me to say. That's more for the industry to decide. And I guess we are trying to reach across the 4 nations inclusively. We are trying to reach across the 7 sectors. The buy-in that we've had is a really nice balance across the biggest and smallest and the variety of freelance communities that work across all these different 7 sectors. We define them in the first place. Our long-term mission, obviously, is to try and help the industry reach all of those different communities, those different demographics, those different services, those different sectors, and exactly to your point, be a reference point for multiple surveys as it grows. So the more people that get involved, the more they believe in this mission and think it represents the industry very well and showcasing it as a map, then why not? Why can't we be that support tool for all those associations or universities or other organisations that need better data? I think that's perhaps a long-term mission, but it'll be the industry that decides whether that's a good reference point, not for us. We're at the beckoning of the industry. Are you planning to link up with any trade unions like BEC2 and the MU on gathering data and sharing information? We're totally inclusive. We're completely apolitical. I've actually spoken to BEC2, if only 2 weeks ago, who are very interested and I believe have sign-off at their board level to be part of the Power Events. We're just waiting for that to go through from a sign-off perspective. So in answer to your question, of course, why not? If they want to add value and grow the events industry and have better understanding of it and better representation of perhaps more mature industry, then they're welcome, as is anybody. The careers platform, how will it differ from existing industry job sites like Mandy or EntouragePro.com? Well, the career platform is trying to be a showcase, and again, this wasn't suggested by us, I reiterate, this was suggested by the events industry. So Entourage Pro we know very well. They're a supporter of the Power Events. We liaise with the guys there often, and they have a brilliant site, if you don't know, with regards to a lot of the freelancers and particularly focus on the music and the festival scene and production as well. So we've actually asked them to help us, as a number of organisations, with our overview of those top 100 roles. But they don't perhaps have that broader reach, perhaps in that engagement that we've got across the 7 sectors, across the 4 nations. And we're not trying to be a jobs board. That's what Entourage Pro is. They link up industry businesses with available freelancers and individuals. That's not our role. That's done by Entourage Pro and many other recruitment agencies and so on. We're just trying to showcase that be aware of them, and the supporters are there as well, but also they hopefully will help us with some of our Careers Hub content and info, so that those that aren't even aware of Entourage Pro and others get an overview of the 5 routes into the industry in an impartial level, and also those job roles, those 100 main job roles, so they understand the broader spectrum. So unlike Entourage Pro, which are commercial organisations that are trying to obviously link individuals with businesses with open job opportunities, that's not our role. We're just trying to give a bigger overview of what the broader sense of opportunity is. You said the Power Events is a conduit. What does that mean on a practical level? What I mean by conduit is I'm not, and my team aren't telling the industry what we should put on this platform. This was not all our idea. We asked the industry what they think we could do together to showcase this industry better, define it, put it in one place, showcase all those amazing sectors, showcase the communities. So the conduit bit is the fact that we're just doing that sort of grunt end, the hard work to actually listen to the industry, then put it through into a digital platform or activate some of the projects and leverage our community for a strong collaborative piece, whether it's on research or the Careers Hub or the Schools Engagement Programme. So we're just doing the back end work. That's what I mean by conduit. Are you hiring? I want to get involved. you're not the first to ask. That's really sweet of you. The more support we get, the more funding we get into operational funds of 2024, and I'm happy to say almost the vast majority that helped us with the Startup Fund when we launched a year ago have committed to, or beginning to commit to, supporting us with funding into our operational projects in 2024, which is fantastic and means we've got a sustainable model growing here. So I don't know the answer to that, but I suggest you email hello@thepowerevents.org. Let us know who you are, what you'd like to do and get involved in. I'm sure we'd love to speak to you. What else? Who is the audience for the platform and the app? Are they different groups? Great question. The audience is all event professionals in the industry, because I can pretty much guarantee that probably only about 20% of the content on there is known by anybody in the industry, because it's so varied and broad and far-reaching across the 7 sectors and the 4 nations. There's a real understanding that those that are lobbying government or national media, or those that need investment or trying to apply for grants, they're often asked, what is the event industry in itself and how can I learn about this from a basic level? Again, there was nowhere to point them to from the industry is backed and the industry provided the content for across the sectors and the 4 nations. So there's a reference point for those external stakeholders. So as long as alongside event industry professionals, the external stakeholders are mentioned, but also the next generation. Having spoken to thousands of students over the last 6-7 months, some of them are quite emotional that they can finally see what they've been working hard towards and the breadth of opportunity and so on. They love the fact that there's overview of the publications, overview of the associations, overview of the networks, the events calendar. So that's a massive audience as well, whether they're in university or skills courses or the next generation of school children that hopefully will think about the events industry as a viable career now with a better platform with which to access and understand the information with their parents, their influencers, their careers advisors as well. So yes, multiple internal audiences, future generation and external stakeholders that a lot of people have to engage with as well. Another question, in the run-up to the general election in 2024, well that's news, I didn't know it was happening, but you know more than me. Will you be doing any more consumer-facing marketing and promotion of the power events in the UK event industry, enriching the economy and communities? Our job is to get as much of the industry to like this, to believe in it, to support it, to engage with it, to suggest what else we should be doing for all of our benefit. So yes, we have one full-time employee, Sophie, who's our engagement manager. And the reason she's called an engagement manager is that that's her main role, along with me and Simon and the task force, is to completely engage and constantly inform everybody that is aware of this, where we're going, to help with it if they want to, small or larger extent, whatever time they've got available, to shout about it for all of our benefit. So yeah, one of our main missions is to constantly wrap around the industry and make sure that everyone feels part of it. And as I said it before, listen to them. What else we'll be doing? Because it's your platform, and it sounds cheesy, but this is not the Rick Stainton show or the task force show. The whole idea is the events industry owns this. All the content on there is profiling organisations in the industry. All the videos, all the descriptions have been given to us by a huge amount of different industry people. So we've got that credibility there. So if more people want to enrich it and engage with it, the more people we reach and see this and give their opinions and their views, the better, because then it just enriches the credibility, authenticity of it. So I think that's enough. It's now, it's 4:15, so I think we've been over 45 minutes or so. If you do have any other questions, please do let us know at hello@thepowerevents. If you want to get involved from a supporter or partner perspective at any level, just contact us. We'd love to have a chat with you. And please download the app now. If anything else that you do before you leave your job, or if you're working from home in your slippers today or whatever, before you have that glass of wine or that beer, it takes 90 seconds, download the app and help us build up this amazing tool for the benefit of other associations, universities and so on to use it going forward. And a final thank you for listening. Really appreciate it, and hopefully see you in real life at an event, industry event, which will be on the calendar on the platform very, very soon. And if I don't see you before then, have a great Christmas, refresh, and enjoy 2024. In the meantime, from the team at the Power Events, thanks very much for listening. See you soon.